And we're joined now by Brett Lincoln, candidate for Lino Lakes City Council. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And talk to me about your experience to this point. What brings you to where you are running for one of these two open seats?
So I've lived in Lino Lakes pretty much my whole life, and I want to give back to the community that has given so much to me while I've lived there. I've lived there since I was going to kindergarten. I'm on the Economic Development Committee in not in Lino Lakes, in a different city where I have a business. But so it feels right to try to help the community out and do my best to help better us.
Is it a chance with these two open seats, and also there's going to be a new mayor? Do you think there's a chance for maybe some opportunities for change, or certain projects, or anything specific that you would look to maybe try to implement on a city level?
I think the biggest thing that I'm interested in is making sure that we keep our property taxes down, and make sure that we remember that the money's coming from all the constituents, and it's not our money. So let's try to make sure that what we do is necessary instead of going for things that may not be necessary. I know looking around to other cities, a lot of their property taxes are slightly lower than ours, and the question I have is why? Why are they lower than ours? They're great towns to live in as well, just the same as Lino. And I just want to make sure that we make the right decisions and remember that we're not just spending our money, we're spending everyone's money, and try to make sure to alleviate the taxes from going up any higher.
Is that tough to balance, though, with the amenities that folks enjoy? Is it also perhaps tough to balance knowing that there are levies on taxes, like by the school district or even by Anoka County? Is that kind of part of balancing?
Correct. Obviously, you're going to have to balance it and make sure that, we're a great town to live in and a great city to live and enjoy everything that we have. So you don't want to lose that by any means. But there's always probably places to look to make sure that we're not wasting money here or there to make sure that we could do it. Because you're right that Anoka has some higher taxes, but overall, actually, compared to some of the other counties, the average tax of Anoka is lower than like Chisago and Washington. And so that itself, when you look then at like Forest Lake and things like that, where they have a little bit even lower property tax, right? They had a higher county tax, but a lower city tax to allow them to do it. So just need to look into why we're having such a high. And I understand, right? You don't want to lose things, obviously, and you don't want to make us not a great place to be like we are, but just always have in the back of your mind to be fiscally responsible about it.
Talk about an opportunity for the city is to capitalize on this Minnesota Tech Corridor. Anoka and Washington counties working together with Connexus Energy to market the 1,000 acres or so that's right there on 35E, Centerville, Lino Lakes, Hugo, Forest Lake, Columbus, all a part of that. And this trying to attract big industry there, technological based industry. Do you see that as an opportunity for the city? Is there something you think that the city can do to try to even capitalize on that even more?
Definitely. I think bringing in some businesses help in that tax bracket for sure, right? If they're paying property tax, that alleviates the property tax coming from citizens. And we definitely need to try to attract someone to come in and hopefully fill that. I know, it seems like most of the tech companies and larger companies are down in the southern cities, if not downtown, but they're in the Bloomington, the Eden Prairie, and things like that. And to convince them to move up this way could be a challenge, because a lot of the people that work at those companies, have decided where to live based on most of the businesses are down there.
Right.
But that being said, I'm sure it's possible to convince them that this is a great place to be. You will have people to tap into that other cities or other companies are not having that option to, right? That they're not traveling that far. So when you're on the upper side of the Twin Cities, maybe you can attract other people in that they don't have that option to actually do.
Do you see any challenges to perhaps leading in Lino Lakes? Do you see anything about the city or about its location or about demographic or growth or anything that would pose a challenge to trying to enact any kind of change or trying to lead in any way?
I would say not. It's geographically located in a great place, right, where 35E and 35W kind of come together. So it kind of gives you that option that you can come from either side, actually, and meet quite easily in the Lino Lakes area. It comes down from the north, you can meet right there, right? It's kind of essentially hubbed right in that corridor, which makes it a great location for bringing people in, traffic and things like that. If you need, to bring in people for a larger business that, not everyone's going to live in the same city that they work in, and you need to actually bring them in. We're in a great location to actually allow us to be able to do that.
What about other options for retail? We talked about a little bit of industry and smaller commercial or retail or even dining options. Do you think there's more opportunity for that in the city?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, there's quite a few restaurants, but there's always room, obviously, for more. I know people are, you're not always looking to go to the same place, every time that you go out or something like that. So it's definitely something. I'm a big fan of small local businesses, so if we can make it so that they want to come to us and make it easy that they can, by giving them incentives to, want to be in Lino Lakes and not go to, somewhere else where they have incentives to go there. So if we can bring in small businesses, those are, some of the best to bring in. They're obviously having them all local is a great thing. And it helps make sure that, the tax money and things like that and the sales and all that kind of just stay right there in Lino, and we, don't lose out on that and, grow our community the best we can.
What's this process been like for you? Have you been talking to people? Have you been trying to gauge input from neighbors or specific groups in the city? And if so, what are you hearing from them about what they want to see happen?
So I've been talking to neighbors of mine and neighbors around like my parents' house and things like that who actually also live in Lino. And one of the big things that I'm hearing is that property taxes keep going up, and they're just not sure why, they keep going up, and what's the reasoning behind that? Is there a way to alleviate that? That seems to be the number one thing that I'm hearing is that, people are, concerned with the way that the property taxes are going, and it's making it hard for some of the people that have to pay the extra property taxes that goes up and up.
Okay, all right. Looking ahead, 20 years, you lived in Lino Lakes off and on for so long. Looking ahead, though, what do you see Lino Lakes in 20 years? What's it going to be drastically different or much the same or something else?
It's a hard question. I don't know for sure. I'd love to say that, you want it to change, obviously, to grow, but, I'd like to keep it still feels like a small town, even though it's not, there's obviously a lot of people, there's, very big shops and things like that are close by, which makes it very easy, if you forget, like, oh no, I gotta go get a gallon of milk kind of thing, so you still have that ability to do things like that and the ease of, everyday living. But it doesn't feel like a big town. If you, when you go to other towns that are of similar size, sometimes they feel much larger, and they almost seem more dense in population. So to try to hopefully keep that feeling going forward would be great, with still expanding and growing the city the best we can.
The city shares a lot of natural characteristics with other cities. Of course, the lakes and the regional park and the trails. All the surrounding cities kind of tap into that, and so there's some shared information, watersheds like White Bear Lake and things like that. But there's also an opportunity to work with county leaders. There's a new seat, or there's going to be a new person on the county board representing Lino Lakes in District 6 and Anoka County Commissioners. How would you try to work with leaders from other cities or leaders on the county level to help Lino Lakes achieve what it wants to?
I would say the best thing to do is, to be open with them and, try to explain what our, future goals are, and try to make sure that they understand what we're looking for, and make sure that, they have that in mind when they go forward with some of their meetings where we're not there, right? Make sure that they're advocating for, what we want, and best communicate with them so that they understand that, this is what Lino Lakes is looking for the future. This is their vision, their goal kind of thing, and make sure that they're just in tune with the city council and making sure that they understand, what we're hoping for, and hopefully we can help align them together and make sure that we move forward together.
Okay. Brett Lincoln, thank you for coming by today.
Excellent. Thank you.
Appreciate it.